Hi, everybody. This is 1,255 days. 1,255 days. And we're almost in 2024. Um, but we'll do this as long as it takes to get answers. And I got a very nice message today from Team Find Richard Halliday. I don't know if they really knew how much that impacted us, and I just want to say thank you so much. And I'll read it to you. It says, thanks to you and your family, you've been exposing them, meaning the enormous evil in our government agencies and institutions. And I just thought that was, that just puts a lot of energy in everything that we do, because that is someone that lives in El Paso that has to live with the corruption, the compromise of our agencies, of our military. And, they're just tired of it. It's so many people are being murdered and hurt, and they see people in their family suffering, and of course our military. And how long do we have to put up with that? Because we're the ones paying millions and millions of dollars for the system to work, and it's all gummed up. And you see that in that magnificent article. So I've done two things today. We decided to put up the Nadal Baim video again. I think I put it up already. Let's see if I'm on. I'm on. There I am already. Okay. Good evening, Mitzi. I see you. Thank you so much for coming on, especially so close to the New Year's and the holiday season. And every day, breaking news and exposing a lot of evil. That's what we've been doing, and that was never really our intention. That was never our intention. Um, Even though I think we need to all be doing that right now, because it's just so enormous. But we just wanted to know what happened to our son. Where is he? What's going on? And we thought that, after paying millions and millions and millions and billions and even trillions of dollars to build our country, to build our government system on promises that they make all the time, they make all these promises that they would help us, that they would absolutely know how to do their job. We've paid for all their training, and know how to do their job and be loyal to their oath, and help us find our son and give us answers and be transparent about it. But that's not the case, because what's happened is there's been compromise, and the compromise um, became corruption. Okay, the compromise, the fraud, waste, and abuse became corruption, and it's really tough, and we understand how it happens, absolutely, but we're talking about the future of our country, and we have to stop it, and we need to go to the main perpetrators of this, and expose the root of the fraud, waste, and abuse that turned into major corruption, major evil. The corruption. Okay, so it's fraud, waste, and abuse that turned into corruption, and then that corruption turned into just pure evil. when you're talking about 85,000 unaccounted for minors, right? 85,000. So that is, that's not 100, that's not 1,000. That's not even 10,000. That's not even 40,000, We're talking, and those are old numbers. We were given, and we're waiting for the results, but we were given a little tip that the numbers for 2023 are staggering, absolutely staggering. And Sound of Freedom is on Amazon Prime right now. And I encourage everybody to go and watch that to understand the smuggling and even the use of the tactical move storage units, and the smuggling that goes on, the human trafficking that goes on, and for narcotics, it connects the dots with the narcotics. So if you have the narcotics, and then you need the weapons, and then you need, the human trafficking makes so much money that, it's just gotten so sad. It's so sad how it's just so inhumane what they have been doing. And you have the likes, the evil likes, and she is, and I don't know if she started out that way, but the fraud, waste, and abuse turned into corruption, and then and turned into evil. And Veronica Escobar, Representative Veronica Escobar, I feel like it's very evil of her to not do anything about all of these migrants being brought over and put into such terrible, terrible danger, because they're being told that they're being brought over to freedom and they get everything. And even the media, oh, you get everything, you get a phone, you get this, you get that. But then all of a sudden, 85,000 of them go missing, and what are the ones that are reported that or that are not reported that we don't know that have gone missing? And what are they doing with these people that they're bringing over? Where are they? What are they doing with them? We know that Fort Bliss has a sex cult problem. We know that they have a child pornography problem. We know that they have a narcotics problem. We know that they have a alcohol abuse problem. We know, and I'm talking about Fort Bliss, and I'm talking about the barracks. We know that they have a security problem, right? A 14-year-old girl living in the barracks being prostituted out every night. What has our military base become? So we know that they have all of these problems, and yet they want to bring these people here and put them under the authority, put them under the care of these failures. The 44 four-star generals and admirals, they're total failures. They have not one successful program. Every program is a failure. And yesterday, and I meant to talk about this, but I thought that reading the article, because it's so long, I think it's about 22 pages. And, Team 5 Richard Halliday close by is like, oh my gosh, that is so long and so complicated. I don't know if I can really even read through it. And I'm like, okay, I'll read through it and turn it into a live stream and have it up there on Facebook. And then you can just, when you're driving, take in bits of it, maybe repeat it once or twice. And, if you're working or whatever, and you can do two things at one time, you can listen instead of having to read it. So, I just did it as a tool, as, just to help people out, because I think that article is so important and I know that if you join, you can listen to it. I'm sure it's a much better reading, but you know, it's such an important A plus plus article. And so what I did is I went through and let me see if I kept that. No, okay. And I took out the witnesses, um, separated them out uh, to get a better understanding of who's who. So, yeah, and I just posted that. I just posted that with the article, and I'm going to go, we're just going through it just with a fine tooth comb and try to, so every day I'll post up different things about this article because it is that comprehensive and it is that important to this case. And it already has given us fruit, you know, it's uh, information about Richard's case. Because you see, if we solve the Walmart mass shooting case, then we're also solving Richard's case. So, and so you have this Walmart mass shooting that happened on Dallas Hart, you know, and if you don't know who Dallas Hart is, he's Richard's platoon leader, former platoon leader that is a prime suspect in the disappearance and murder of our son. So the Walmart case being on his birthday is a little disturbing. You know, it's a little disturbing. So the Walmart case is connected to Richard's case by an address. There's a couple addresses, but the main address that the whole Walmart case connects Richard's case with is 3905 Bliss Avenue. So that house is what we believe and are getting information about. We have it confirmed that it's under life leases, okay, and Tanya Katzen being, you know, one of those people, and it seems like you know, relatives live there, and those relatives are all connected, of course, because they're connected by blood, and they then connect the Ortegas, which is Boleyn's family. So Boleyn's family are connected to the Katzen, to Danae Katzen's family, and then also connected to a family of one of the victims in the Walmart mass shooting, and also connects Felix Valenzuela. He's connected to these addresses, to this, and even the medical examiner. Okay, so, and there seems to be an incident that happened there, and that incident seems to involve Richard. Okay, a violent incident that involved Richard. There seems to be other violent things happening there also. And so those are all, you know, records that we are requesting. And, you know, those, we are getting those, and we have some case numbers that corroborates what we're saying, giving proof what we're saying. But, you know, when you have Boleyn and Danae being connected to one of the families that was a victim in the Walmart case, and they're connected, they're all connected through Leilani Hart, because, you know, everything connects with Leilani Hart. And then it's this 3905 Bliss Avenue, and we're getting even more information on how that connects. Um, the associates of Patrick Crusius himself, and other institutions, and I want to explain that I was born at White Sands. White Sands is very, very important to this case. This was a God thing. I didn't pick to be born at White Sands, but I was. I know White Sands. A lot of Germans there. A lot of Germans at White Sands, especially in the time that I was born there. A lot of Germans. I talked to my mother this morning. She said they belonged to the German American Club there in those days. And, that area is still very active. And the Germans, a lot of German scientists there, a lot of rocketeers, and White Sands is the main training ground, one of the main training grounds for Richard Halliday, for our son. Okay, because he was ADA, he was with those air defense artillery. Um, so this is just something that we're familiar with. I went to Bassett Elementary School, 8th grade. I belonged to the swim club, the Sand Sharks. My coach was Colonel Johnson. We called him CJ. I went to elementary school there. My dad had to go to Korea for a year. We spent it, that time in El Paso. So we have friends there. We know that area. We know that there is a big German presence in that area. And so when it comes to Rosa Maria Valdez Garcia and her family, that, because she married German, she married one of the victims, who is Alexander Gerhard Hoffmann Roth, right? So she married him. He never became American citizen. He was in the Air Force on Fort Bliss during that time. Okay, so and he stayed there. So what did he contribute while he was there? And I think that is very important information for Richard's case. So because it's part of the Walmart case, and it's a big part of the Walmart case. So I think all their children were born in Germany, which is not surprising at all for us. But it just tells you that he did want his children to be German citizens. So, and until 2000, when when Europe turned into the European Union, I mean, it started way before that, but that was the main launch of the money and everything. They, after many, many, many decades, changed the law in Germany, because when my mother's German, when my mother came to the United States, and where did she go to? White Sands, right? She went to White Sands. You could not be a dual citizen. So she gave up her German citizenship and became an American citizen. While she was there, she learned, American history, how to speak English. And so I absolutely understand. I was raised in a household of someone coming from a different country and becoming an American citizen, and just the change of culture, the change of even jokes, so that's really I have a huge understanding of that. I can't even imagine if my mother would have been treated like these people that are coming over are being treated. They're just being treated as cattle. They're not being vetted, so they're being raped. They're being robbed. They're being, and I think they're being trafficked. Okay, I think they're being trafficked um, like cattle, and to be able to come across to this country legally is humane because it means you have protection. Right now, just coming across that border and going on to Fort Bliss and into those intake centers, into those tent cities, who knows what's happening to you? And, you have no protection. There's no protection because there's no security on Fort Bliss. You have uh, Private Oakley found dead in his barracks, and they're not telling us what killed him, right? They're not telling us. And we have rapes. We have Richard's disappearance, which is a forced disappearance and murder. We have a 14-year-old girl that's living in the barracks being prostituted out. You have party girls being brought in during the COVID lockdown to party, right? Putting them in danger. Uh, there is tampered surveillance footage. There is unauthorized access to files and tampering. You have Dallas Hart's father, who is part of the VA Disability Benefits Health Board, right? What does that mean? He has access to a very sensitive and huge amount of records. And he has been accused by his wife, a notary, of pedophilia, of buying weapons illegally, threats using those weapons, child sexual assault, incest. There's so much in that report. We have the FBI number. The FBI accepted that report that was notarized by Leilani Hart. And now we have, more numbers. And the point is that she's a convicted criminal, and he has these allegations against him, and he's allowed to access those files. And Leilani Hart was given access, unauthorized access to CID files. Okay? And that was confirmed to us by James Hart. That was confirmed to us. Even Dallas Hart was saying his mom's crazy. And we knew that there were leaks. We knew, and we were telling Dirty Agent Marlon Soto that someone has access to these files. What are you doing about it? And we said that in front of the entire fake. It was a fake, but they were there. These are real people, but they are serving foreign and domestic enemies. They're not doing their duty. And I'm serious about that because they all just sat there when we were giving the evidence for that something is not right in Richard's case. And they all just sat there and they let Dirty Agent Marlon Soto come up and said, "Oh, I'll take care of that." And it was we were reporting on. And those law enforcement agencies allowed, and this is including the FBI, allowed the CID, because he was the agent in charge, to police themselves, which is illegal. And now you have the Army, and I just put it out, and I haven't really even talked about it. I put it out yesterday, but it is an article that now the Army is going to police itself from a higher level, and that the generals will be policing themselves, okay? And that they will be investigating themselves. And, I'm going to go through that article too. But what it means is that they can retaliate. They can retaliate on everybody because they've just given themselves the power to weaponize their investigations. And we've seen a lot of that lately, right? A lot of the weaponization of investigations. We were there at January 6th. We absolutely know that was not an insurrection. 100%. We know it was not an insurrection. Okay? An insurrection is when you have weapons and you're charging. No, this was an egged on. This was absolutely a setup job. Did some people fall for it? Yes, but you can see the videos. They're just walking in. They're being guided, a guided tour by the police. That is not an insurrection, okay? And I know that there were some bad actors there. I really walked through so many people because, our purpose for being at January 6th was to hand out flyers about Richard and try to meet podcasters and media and give out our prayer candles, let people be aware of our son's case, and maybe they would hear something and let us know. The day before we went, Donna Martin contacted us to tell us not to go because, see, she knew that something was going to happen. And I believe that absolutely the lack of security, there was no security there. There was not even porta potties there. They didn't do anything knowing that 1 million people were going to go to that rally. And it really was a rally behind Pence. It was to support Pence. That's what I heard, that for Pence to do the right thing and have a review of the election. And he didn't do that. And I totally understand why he didn't do that, because he's corrupted, fraud, waste, and abuse. Absolutely, because there was no reason for him not to do that. It would have been great for much better for President Biden if no foul play or tampering with the election would have been found. He would have had a much, I don't know, he would have been respected more. Now, because of his apparent mental breakdown, and it's apparent that it's a mental breakdown, he's being made fun of and everything, instead of, it's just crazy. And I said it in my live stream, and I'm not a Biden fan at all, not at all. But I'm an American, and I want the country to work. And I'm telling you that it doesn't work, because a review of the election would have done nobody harm. It would have done good. And I, at that time, I wasn't really focused at all on the election. I was focused, and I still am, on finding where Richard is. And there was going to be a lot of people there. We were in that area because it was my dad's 80th birthday. And we were invited to go up there on a bus, and we did it. Any chance that we could get to meet people, to drive the representatives to look at Richard, the Vanessa Guillen first absent soldier, we were going to do it, and we did it. And I'm so glad we did, because we saw firsthand what happened there. and the absolute political maneuvering and lies that have been told to hypnotize a large portion of our country to think that that was an insurrection. And it wasn't. It was not an insurrection. Okay. 100%. It's just like the COVID was absolutely not a virus. Okay. Because viruses don't even exist. And if they existed, they would show us, but they just show us, they don't have them. They don't have them. They don't even have chicken pox. They don't even have that. And I think that's been a real blessing that came out of the whole COVID mess, is that there is a large portion of people that, especially in the health care, which includes the Halliday family, because my husband is a retired physician assistant, um, to realize that there's been a larger hoax than even the COVID played on us when it comes to the germ theory. And if really, when you think about it, if the germ theory was really real, and we have 9 grandchildren, really young grandchildren, and they're all sharing and drinking, and they fall on the ground and lick their hands, and kids, little 5-year-olds, 4-year-olds, and we're always outside with them and doing things. So, if you think about it, if viruses were so deadly and could mutate and could have this nouveau power, we would all be dead. We would all be dead. It would be a terrible, terrible place to live. So, and I'm not denying that people got sick. Absolutely, people got sick, right? People get sick. But I'm just saying, what really was it? What really was it? You know, um, and I kind of go through lean to a toxin, that there is that a toxin was making people sick. So I don't know, but we did a lot of research on that because it was hindering our son's case. It was hindering our son's case, and it was clearly destroying small businesses. It was clearly, the big boxes, they got to stay open because, the class warfare, those that are in the know, they knew that it was a political maneuver, and I believe it was a political maneuver, and it really hurt small businesses, and it really hurt older people. They couldn't be visited by their loved ones. And why am I, rehashing this? Because I want everyone to understand that the same hoodwinking, the same spirit of lies is surrounding the Walmart mass shooting case that happened on August 3rd, 2019. It is a spirit of lies, okay? And this is coming from our agencies with a hammer on their employees. And that's why when you give power to the very top like this, like they're going to do with the military now for investigation, they can weaponize that and use it against. That's why so many people were shaking, because they have mortgages to pay, they have children to raise, they have they want to eat. And when the leadership can threaten and retaliate, and they can make you do things that you would not normally do. That's the point here. And so when people say, how could they pull this off? And I'm like, they scare the heck out of people, and they, with their threats. And we see that in the Oakley case. He was told to take everything down, take it off, take it off. That is an order. Um, and he admitted that. And so they did not want the transparency. Why not? This is our country. That was our Walmart. I mean, it's owned by Walmart, but these are our people. We, in a republic, in a democracy, in a republic, we have open courts. We are allowed to go in there and see a court case, who is getting punished. We have open records because uh, we have a transparent government of the people, by the people, for the people, right? Under God, under God. Um, and that's why we have those records. That's why we have those trials, is because we want justice. We get to see what's happening and how it's happening. Um, we could save a lot of money, right? Because right now, what's going on is that they're not sharing the open records, and they're not letting people go into certain trials. They are not even letting people vote the way they want to vote, right? They want to be the judge and the jury. They, you see these governors, and, because you can say, who's they? You can see the leaders of the representatives, um, the military, the law enforcement community, the media community, that they are hiding things, that they are misrepresenting. There's a pattern of tampering. There's a pattern of interference. There is, a, an effort to weaponize the government against the people, instead of being there to serve the people. It's very, very clear. And they're doing that because they're extorting the system, and they embezzle, and they steal, and they traffic, and they smuggle. So they smuggle the weapons and traffic the children and traffic humans, and most of that is all women. And they do the narcotics trafficking also, and they make loads of money, and they can't let you know who's who and what. But because we have this open system, things sneak out, right? They can't hide everything all the time. And so, what they've done to deal with that, in my opinion, is that they have resorted to stealing identities. And so they'll have multiple names, multiple social security numbers, and multiple addresses, multiple phone numbers. Oh my gosh, so many phone numbers. And, they'll do that to cover themselves up. And we see that in Joe Biden's case, even, and even Hunter's. They were under pseudonyms. They were using different names. So they'll even make up names. If you have access, like a mortuary affairs has access to files, like the VA has access to files, like law enforcement has access to files, then you can manufacture numbers and names, and tamper with things, and so and profit off of that. Okay, and profit, because you can take loans out with certain other names, and you know so this is just a lot of fraud, waste, and abuse that's turned into corruption, and that corruption has turned into evil. That's it's just huge, and it's in a Richards case, and it is all over that Walmart case. But by God's grace, by God's grace, um, it has all been exposed through an address, 3905 Bliss Avenue. And that door, going into that door to investigate it, is a little bit of a process, but it is bearing a lot of fruit, a lot of fruit. And that's why we have three now. Team Find Richard Halliday has three notices of intent for legal action. And because of that hard evidence, because, for a long time, people would say, you need to sue, you need to get a lawyer, you need to, and I'm like, well, okay, well, but what do you do then? What do you do then? Are they going to give us this information? Are they going to be like, ooh, I'm scared of your lawyer now or whatever? No, it was just not going to help us, right? It wasn't going to help us. So, first, you really need to do your own investigation. And I never knew that. I never knew that they would make us do our own investigation. It's like, why do we even have law enforcement? And then you have to be your own media because they'll shadow ban you and everything. So you have to do these live streams, burn the midnight oil. Here it is, midnight now. So you have to just take time out of your life and make sure that you get the information out there every day, every day. And I wish I could do it twice a day like I used to. I used to do it twice a day. Um, but that, but since then, that we're way over 3 years. I have uh, absolutely. I don't know if I should say it. I think I won't say it. There's so much going on behind the scenes that you have to juggle what is more important. And that is really tough because the most important thing is you. Because without the public, all of our paperwork, all of uh, everything that we are putting in behind the scenes can be ignored and no one will care. But if everyone is caring, just like with Vanessa, just like with any kind of public outcry, that's when you drive them. Like with George Floyd, there was no stopping that. There was no stopping it, right? People wanted justice with that. And I think, that needs to be revisited now that more information is coming out. Absolutely. But the point that I'm trying to make is you're the most important part of all of this, of getting justice for Richard. And I don't think you're told that enough. I didn't even know it enough. It is the public, and I even admitted that. And I think it was David Park that wrote that you didn't even know how important what happened to Vanessa Guillen, what an opportunity that was. And I'm like, you're right. You're absolutely right. I have definitely been educated in this. And absolutely, the people have so much power. I never knew that, just a regular citizen could move mountains like this, right? Because we've been moving mountains. Um, and, you know, this book that I said I was going to write, and people took that wrong, and I'm going to write it, and I've been writing it, um, is not because I want to write a book. It's because you have to document everything to get your head around who is who, what's going on, when did it happen, how did it happen, in order to find Richard, right? So the best way to learn it is to write it. In my opinion on how I learn, I try to write everything down. I have notebooks and notebooks full. Um, I just try to write everything down and go back and then digitize it, and then do searches through it. Um, and why am I telling you the methods? Uh, because we're in this together. I'm sure that you have loved ones that also need justice, and you're not getting it. It's not, they're not picking on us. They're not picking on Richard. This is their standard operating procedure. We're just nothing to them. We're just cattle, you know, and their main goal in their jobs is to milk it, is to milk it. It's not their duty. Um, and then and I'm talking about the leadership. And then you have, uh, these few exceptions, and I'm not even, I'm just telling you what we have faced, because these harassers, right? The harassers that we got at first, you might take them seriously. Um, because they're paid to do that. They're paid to do a psyop on you, to get you to stumble. They are hired to be stumbling blocks. And you know what Jesus says about that? You can just put a millstone around your neck and throw yourself in the abyss, right? They have no future. And, just to harass, and I really understood that when I traced those numbers with the help of Team Fire Richard Halliday. It was so bad. We traced those burner phones. We learned how to trace a burner phone. And I sent the coordinates in. Well, really, Rob did. Um, Rob sent the coordinates in, um, and said, hey, look at where all this harassment and threats and everything led back to. Okay. Um, it was absolutely a professional team. So there is an army out there of trolls, an army of trolls that harass, that want to divert your attention. And so I just, now it's like you just kind of go flick them off and go forward, get away. Um, because what they really want is to divert you from getting accountability. And in this case, you can't be diverted anymore. Richard's case is totally connected to the Walmart mass shooting case. How can you get diverted from that? Right? Um, in a Walmart, and Richard goes missing on, it's supposed to be a secured military base, and you have the DES saying that Richard was good food was a good meal for the coyotes, and then you have the father-in-law and FBI employee Nadal Baim saying they found Richard in Mexico in Juarez. And then that's a secret. Shh, shh. That's the most important part of that video. Okay, they found him. They found his remains. He's dead. But what was his response to that? Not get that mother on the phone, get that father on the phone. It was shh, shh. Don't tell them. What is that? What is that? Um, should he be arrested for that? Is that obstruction of justice? You know? So, so we have lots of news. We're not at liberty to say um, today, but I just want to let you know that a lot is happening behind the scenes, even during the holidays. And we are working diligently, even through the holidays, to put forth these letters, to get the case numbers, to stack up our hard evidence, our irregularities, and our circumstantial evidence. Because, to get justice, what do you have to do? You have to identify the crime, the criminals, you have to document it all, and then you can get the accountability. Then you can um, be in court confidently that you're going to win, and that's what we're trying to do. So thank you, everyone. Yesterday there was a message that I missed about the police chief that also passed away, and I don't know about that. So if you know about that, please leave a message. I knew that he had passed away, but I don't know about his case. I don't know why, because he wasn't that old. Um, I don't know why. I don't know why he passed away. So, and I think with Oakley 23, with Richard, and I really feel like there is a chance, a real possibility that we're looking into, and this I can definitely divulge to you that uh, with Richard being in an intern in the CID, with him knowing Thomas Kane, with him knowing Dirty Agent Marlon Soto, with him knowing Dirty Agent, former agent lost his badge to Vita Nusa, with him knowing um, uh, the Walmart case, I'm sure, because they were all he I think he knew some things that he was reporting on the Walmart case. That's just, it's like in the tea leaves. um, Everything is kind of pointing to he must have known some things. And he was absolutely severely, continuously retaliated for that. So, and they have even cleansed his archive folder of that retaliation. And I think that is also um, a sign that he absolutely knew some major, major crimes that were going on Fort Bliss. Absolutely. So we just need to find him now, his remains, so we can give him a proper burial. That's that's a must. Okay, so thank you, everyone. And I will be back tomorrow on New Year's Eve, right? New Year's Eve. I'll probably get on a little bit earlier, um, because we like to celebrate, play some games and celebrate, drink some champagne and that to bring in the new year. So, and we always eat some sauerkraut. We always eat a little sour. Some people eat black eye peas, right? Black eye beans, and I've even made that for New Year's in the past. But w- you know, uh, being German, you got to eat sauerkraut on New Year's Eve. It's good luck. It's good luck. So I normally cut some apples in it and put a little white wine in the sauerkraut. You got to clean it really good, and then add the apples in. And um, giving you a little recipe here, but I always look forward to it. It's very delicious. So, all right, everyone. Thank you so much. God bless you, and I will be back tomorrow.